each and every one of you again to our 7th annual West Coast FMA congregation. Yay! Yay! This is our 7th year. When I first started this event, it started off as just a way for me and my friends to just get together, play with each other. We were all studying different disciplines of FMA, and so we just wanted an opportunity to share with each other. So then we said, hey, why don't we potluck, bring some food in, that way we can eat and train, because you know we all love to eat, right? That's the way Filipinos do it. You do something, you eat. That's just how we do. So we said, yeah. And then one of my friends said, hey, what if we invited other people? And I said, yeah, sure, why not? Let's open it up to everybody. And I didn't know very many of you at the time, so he did all the inviting and got everybody here. And that year we had 60 people or so. I don't know who was here our first year. If you were here our first year, I know. What I remember from our first year is GM Felix was here and it was pouring rain. And everybody was gathered under one little tent watching. But it was a great year. So we got rained out that first year. We were actually doing registrations in the garage because it was pouring. We laid out tarps on top of this, but I think our first couple years we had rain and now it's beautiful. Anyways, I'm ranting. You are all here today celebrating not only FMA, but our culture as well. And today, what I wanted to do a little different than all of the other ones is kind of pay tribute and kind of look back on our history, not only FMA history, but martial arts history and why we're able to even study any of the martial arts that we do, and also recognize and pay tribute to all the other arts that we influence. Because I know in my background, I started in FMA with the family, but then I also studied traditional arts as well. But there's a reason why we all are even able to study martial arts here in the US. And both gentlemen who are here today are going to talk about that, how that was actually brought over here and that sort of thing. And I think it's really important to understand our history, where we're coming from. That way we know where we're going and how we can build. The whole message of this event is to share with one another. I have various groups that are going to be demoing today. And then the 2 headlining instructors who are instructing you today. They are not taking any fees from me. No one takes a fee from me. They're only paid by your donations. So if you haven't already, please visit our registration table. I have my mother-in-law and Sandy over there at the registration table. Make sure you give them a donation, just as a little token saying thank you. Your entrance fee just pays my expenses to actually host this. We also have vendor tables. Grandmaster Felix Royales is selling a lot of gear here. I'm selling gear. We have t-shirts for sale. We also have a raffle today. Each one of you received a raffle ticket today. That raffle ticket, we are going to be raffling off. Grandmaster Felix is donating a sword. Gray Market Studios is donating two shirts? One shirt, I don't know which shirt.
Your shirt.
One shirt.
Sleeve.
We've also got padded sticks, and then we also have some training blades that I'm donating as well. So if you want to buy extra tickets for the raffle, please see Sandy and Mom out there in the tables. Okay, with that said, I would like to introduce you to our headlining instructors. On my right is Cedro Antoine Alferos, and on my left is Grandmaster Christian. I met Cedro a while back. Let's put it that way? Okay. A while back. He is one of my instructors, but not only an instructor, but a mentor to me. In fact, this congregation that we have is kind of based on gatherings that Cedro hosts every year. He has a winter gathering that he hosts every year, and this year it's on December 6th, 7th, and 8th, and it's going to be in Buena Park at the La Quinta Inn. If you want more information, please see me. I'm hoping Cijo will also talk a little bit about the gathering, and you can see me, Sifu Sandy, about it. But he is one of my mentors. His FMA comes from his father, so I don't want to take away from either of their talks, so I'll just leave it as that. Grandmaster Cristianco, I met at the very first congregation. He came, he was one of the ones sitting with me in the garage, and he agreed to do a demo that first year, and as soon as I saw him move, I said, Kempo! And I'll leave it at that. But a lot of history here between the two gentlemen, and so I hope you all take the opportunity to learn, and thank you for letting us all share with you. A few housekeeping rules before we get started. Just make sure you clean up after yourselves in your areas. Be respectful of each other's. Please, no live blades on the floor. And if you see anybody with a live blade out, feel free to ask them to put it away. We want to make sure everybody is safe here. And we're selling water for $1. Please keep yourself hydrated. Excuse me for the green pool. We had fires this past week. If you look over here on the hill behind you, you'll see that it's burned back there. We were almost evacuated, so all of the ash and everything kind of settled and turned stuff different colors, so I apologize. But anyways, I want you all to have a great day. We've got barbecue started, food is cooking, we'll break for lunch. Before we do, we'll take a group picture on the side, and thank you very much for everyone.
Before we start with Cijo and Tom, we've got two demos. Our first one is coming from Guro Vic. I saw him here earlier. There he is.
Yeah, Guro Vic. H2O FMA. H2O FMA.
Wait, I've been told it's not H2O anymore. It's Filipino Martial Heritage. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. You tricked me. Thanks a lot, Gigi. Thanks a lot.
But thank you. You made me make my correction. And also, Guro Vic and Guro Steve are throwing a tournament in November, the Way of the Blade, and there's also a small tournament tomorrow. There's postcards on the table. There's a tournament tomorrow. Cost is
it's to prepare people for the event. It's $15, but if you have Gigi sign that postcard, it's only going to be $10 to participate.
dang. I saved you guys $5, yo. So if you can hunt me down and get me to autograph that card, you save me $5.
$5.
All right. Thank you, Guro.
So, I'm going to do a little demonstration on the sword and shield. But before we do that, I'm just going to show you some of the movements that we are going to be using with using a stick, sword, and dagger. So basic movements. So we're going to do a basic 5 sound, where it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's a common stick and dagger, sword and dagger movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So of course you can do that a variety of ways, but all it's doing is showing you ways to move two things at the same time. So we're going to shift to the shield now to show the similarities. So stay with that first. So using the same movements, I could be using the shield. So from the same position, there's 1, There's my shield. It's a blade, shield, and blade. So say 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the idea is you want to be able to move your shield from one side to the other, so you're not stuck on doing this, block, block, block. So if the shield can move from one side to the other, you have a better chance. Okay? Okay, so let's put the shield behind me first. So if she didn't have a shield, every time I attack, she would be forced to defend with her blade. Okay? Same thing with me, every time she attacks, I would be just using this, or here, here, here. Now if you add a shield, obviously now you have 2 things. So you can just be blocking, 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 blocking. I don't have to do a lot, I can just kind of stay here and just hide behind my shield. So same thing with her. Just with minimal movement, you can just kind of stay there and block everything I'm doing. Okay? So now, but if you do have a sword and shield, you can block with your sword or with your shield. For example, here. Okay? So now you have 2 choices. And same thing with me. You can block with my shield. I can block here, block here, here. Okay? And so if I keep everything close to me, I have a pretty good defense. I don't have to do too much, except maybe move my feet. And see, so it makes my defense easier. Okay? So now since we both have a shield, I don't want to do this. I don't want to just attack with an angle 1 because that's the easiest thing to defend. I've actually seen that in tournaments against with people using shields, and the people who are not used to it, they just do this. And the other person with the shield just does this. Conrad, where's Conrad? Conrad had an opponent just like that at a tournament who kept attacking an angle 1, and Conrad just basically did this the whole time. Okay, so now since I don't want to just crash through a shield, what I need to do is I need to make her, let's say, drop her shield. Let's say if I fake low, so I can go high. Okay, or I fake high, so I can go low. So one thing you want to do is you want to find the gaps where you can strike. So if I'm standing, let's say here, where would you strike me? Where would I be open if I wasn't moving? Okay, maybe the high line, maybe the low line, between the shield and my weapon. So whatever position she stands in, there's always an opening available. And then the other thing you do is you create your openings. One of the basic things I like to do against a shield is to strike up here where, to go for the eyes. Now if something is going for your eyes, you would either move or defend. So if I come here, that's when you go low. Okay? So I like to fake high and attack low. I also like to fake high, and as I'm moving, then I get opening on this side. So I could, let's say, attack up here, attack low, and shift as I'm moving. See, I'm uncovering myself, and then that gives me this line of attack. So what we're going to do right now is just a simple drill. It's a counter for counter. We're just going to go back and forth with the strikes. You can use either the shield or the sword for defense. Okay, so we're just taking turns. And part of your defense is just moving away from the strike. So you don't necessarily have to block everything. So just like it's like empty hands boxing. If you don't keep your guard up, then it's not useful. If I keep my shield down here, then it doesn't help too much. Okay? So this is a bigger shield, but you can also use a smaller one. For example, here. So this would be more like the Western buckler, smaller shields, and supposedly, I forgot which tribe in the Philippines, they also like to use smaller shields because they said if you're brave enough, you don't really need a big shield. But in Mindanao, you have shields this big, and in the northern Philippines, you have narrow ones that's different sizes. So same idea here. We can just take turns. You can block and block. Okay. So even a shield this small is usable. Now the other thing you can do with the shield is you can use it for checking or hitting. So let's say I strike here, she could block with her blade and then punch my hand as a check. Okay? So this could be part of her defense. See? Yeah. So the shield can go straight, it can go down, it could go many different ways. Okay? So she can follow up with her own strikes right after this. So let's say go here, boom, boom, boom. Add that into so here, hit. So the shield can be offensive as well as defensive. And a lot of people are wondering maybe who's going to walk around with a shield in these days and age. It's like saying, who's going to walk around with a stick? Why learn Filipino arts? We're not going to walk around with a stick. Well, shields could be you can have improvised shields. For example, this is say with that one quick. This is a buckler, a Western buckler. It's not that big, and so it could be. But if I add this, see, all of a sudden, I have a bigger surface for blocking. And then another thing, as someone was saying, is as a purse or a backpack. So maybe she just grabs her backpack, because better to have a backpack against a knife than your empty hand. Okay? And you can also put things in your backpack like another one. Maybe she can block and cut. See? Boom. So it's better than, as I said, better than your own empty hands, and it's something you might have with you wherever you go. Okay? Okay.